this year is going to be a really powerful one, and I'm starting to feel subtle shifts in me and like how I feel, and just the letting go of things and letting go of like past beliefs and whatnot. And I really want to share an experience that I had today, and also a few things that I've learned today or these past few days with Azul. And Azul Anaita, she's a spiritual teacher. But before I officially get into it, welcome to another episode of Mano Maresco. Today we have another solo episode. I'm really excited about this one. And again, I was gonna start the episode, but before that, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, because that helps the podcast. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can also follow there. And in Spotify, you can comment. So with that being said, let's start the episode. And actually, before I start the episode, actually, it kind of goes with what I want to talk about today. And I keep looking here because I can see myself. Well, I have to look here. But I'm really excited. Like today was just like little things, little shifts that happened, and I'm really excited about it. And today I put out a video, and I ended up getting one new follower, one a new subscriber on YouTube. And because of that subscriber, my vision board, one of the things I had my vision board from December, like happened today. And it's kind of crazy because in my vision board, it was 118 subscribers. And the reason I put I already had 90 something, so I put 118 specifically because of my birthday, like December 18th. So I was like, okay, let's do 118. And it wasn't until today where it was 115 at the end of December, and a few days later it was probably 117 for a couple of days, and then today it hit 118. And it's really exciting, just the synchronicities that happen the day that it happened. Today is a really important day. If you guys are into Mayan culture and whatnot, it's an important day. It's an important start of a cycle. It's the start of a cycle, which is really important. And this cycle talks about miracles, milagros, things starting to materialize the dreams and those deseos, the desires that you have. And so for it to happen today, it was kind of like a miracle for me. And it was just a excitement. It was just oh my God, this is crazy. And so that's one of the things I wanted to share. But another thing I wanted to share, and this is more an episode of me just talking, not really sharing any specific information, but hopefully this is a reminder for you, or you're able to kind of I don't know, just listen and see if there's any insights that happen while I'm talking, because this one is really unplanned. This is spontaneous. I actually wanted to go to sleep because I had to work today, and I got home around 10:30, and I am ready to go to sleep. But I was I need to do this episode today because it was just it was ups and downs, but mostly ups, and I'm just still trying to take it in. So like I mentioned, this cycle is today's the start of a new cycle in the Mayan culture. And it starts with Kat, which is it's a Nahual in the Mayan culture, and it's represented by the spider, and the spider has its webs and whatnot. And so the webs represent the things that we're creating, kind of the hendo, knitting, the things that we're knitting, or in Spanish sounds better, way better, the hendo. Our desires are the things that we want to manifest and want for it to be to become reality. And so I'm in her group where she guides us through this whole for the next 13 days of this cycle. And today was the first day. And so we had a live meeting, a live event, I guess, to do a closing of the previous cycle, which pretty much landed also today with the first day. Sorry, I just had to put some. Okay, and so I was like, I was listening to what she was saying and whatnot, and then there was and this is like, this is the moment, or the two moments. So she put a song. She was like looking for a song. Like she took forever, but she found the song and she played it. And I don't really remember the song, but the main thing, and this whole thing's in Spanish, so the song was like, the main thing was like, soy magia, I'm magic. And while I was like listening to the song, I was with my mom too, so I'm like here, my mom's like next to me, and I'm like, we were like closing our eyes and we're like I'm listening to the song, and I just felt like this nudo, this knot in my chest and then it later went to my throat, and I just wanted to tear up, because it was kind of like that sensation of like acknowledging and kind of like accepting that song, like what the words were saying, that I am magic, soy magia, and the other words that it said. I really wish they could share that song, and I really want. I was like, no, don't cry, because my mom was like right there. So I kind of like tear up, but it was just like watery eyes. But then like the song finished. I was like, okay, good, thank goodness. And then so she was like, I don't remember how it led to that, but she ended up putting another song, and she was like it's a really important for us to dance. Like when we wake up, it's important for us to dance so we can start moving. Because she was like telling us that movement, opening ourselves up to receive, and whatnot, is really important for us to create our reality, to start manifesting, for miracles to happen. And it's really important to like stretch. There's this like what's it called, yoga pose, or pose where like you're kind of like, what's it called? I don't know what you kind of like you're kind of like in a squat position, like but way lower, and then you put your arms on your legs, like kind of like your elbow touching your knees, and you're kind of like pushing them out so you could open your hips. And that, because also like, if you guys or ladies didn't know, like our vientre, our, what's it called, our uterus, our, this whole bottom area is really important for us to manifest. So if it's like, if our hips are really like tight, if doing movement and pretty much like stretches or yoga poses that allows us to do this thing. The reason why it's because I tried to clean it before starting this thing, because the baby I was babysitting vomited or like puked in my sweater. But just ignore that. So yeah, it's so she was mentioning all of this, and then she played a song, and like she told us like, you guys gotta move, like when you wake up, you just gotta start moving your body, like you really enjoy the music, and put music that you're gonna enjoy. Like honestly, I would probably be like Duranguense or any like reggaeton music, because I'm learning how to twerk. Sorry, TMI. But yeah, you just like move your body, like listen to music that you really like, and try not to put any like because I know there's like dancing music where it's like the lyrics and the meaning of the song is like very sad, or very like go fuck yourself type of music. But try to put music where like the lyric is like nurturing to her soul. So when she said that, she was like, okay, like stand up, I'm gonna put a song, and then we're all gonna dance, right? And I was already feeling this thing of what, like just like that knot that I had in my chest. I was just like starting to feel it like a bit more, and then and this sensation of like wanting to cry. So when she's like dance and like move, when I started like dancing again, my mom was there too. So I like stood there and I was like watching her, and just like watching her was like her like starting to move and dance. I was like, I just started to tear up. And it was kind of like a feeling of things are changing. Like things are gonna change so much, and or just like things are gonna change, and things are gonna start happening. Miracles are gonna start happening, and I'm ready. Like I am ready, and I started crying. My mom was like, "Oh, you're so sensitive," but it was like that feeling of like accepting like all this work that I've been doing. Like I feel like the I'm harvesting, I'm cosechando, like I'm reaping the the work that I've been doing, and it was kind of like a weight off my shoulder, like, and so like my mom, like when she said like dance, my mom and I hug, and like we were like dancing, like, like when they're like really close, and I was like I was like bawling, I was like tearing up, I was like, but I was, it was it wasn't like that feeling, guys. I know there's like people like who meditate or like connect with angels and whatnot. Like, they feel this immense love. It didn't feel like immense. It was just like a knowing, like I know things are gonna change. I know things are gonna be different, I'm closer to it. And even though like this whole path is like a whole journey, like there's gonna be ups and downs, ups and downs. I understand that, but like the things that I'm deseando, the things that I want, like they're coming. They're coming. And so that was kind of like my experience today, and I really wanted to share it because, you know, there's like times where like I like hear people or listen to people and they're like, oh yeah, I cried or I felt this emotion, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like I don't feel anything. And today was that day. Today was probably one of the first days or like a moment that I truly remember where, or like truly acknowledge where I felt something, and it was really, really, really nice where I was like able to cry and just like really appreciate and be really grateful for God, for universe, for this whole spiritual realm who's been guiding me, and I've been asking for help, and even though sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm being helped because I don't see any like visible appearance or anything like that, but just the little like the book Conversations with God, or Azurajete or Fred, or like just myself, like trusting Erika Munoz with like the decreto, like even she was like talking about how like the past Teresena was all about letting go and kind of like creating a foundation about us of like loving ourselves, and I was like, that's fucking crazy, because this past 2 weeks that's all I've been doing, decretos of like believing in myself, removing anything that's no longer needed. When I say my decretos, and take notes here, if you speak Spanish, take notes here. It's like, yo soy un ser de fuego violeta, yo soy la pureza que Dios desea, yo soy un ser de fuego violeta, transmuto todos los miedos que tengo en todos mis cuerpos. Presencia de Dios en mí, te reconozco en mí y pido que te manifiestes en mí y en mi vida ahora. Like all these decretos that I've been saying have helped me so much. One right now that I'm doing is that I've been doing more than these other ones is Cristo interno, transmuta y retira todo. I'm trying to like remember while I'm saying it. Transmuta y retira, no, transmuta y armoniza todos los. I'm trying to remember. Why? I tried to remember last time and I forgot as well. Cristo interno, transmuta y armoniza todos los miedos. Because ahí es como, the second part, the second sentence is like, apertúrame al amor y a la energía femenina en todo mi cuerpo ahora. I'm trying to remember. I swear I'm trying to remember, but I'll leave it here, somewhere here or in the description below, so you have all the decretos there. But pretty much, like these past 2 weeks, it's been all about all of that, doing decretos, removing any resistance, conscious or unconscious, of limiting beliefs, of creencias, that whether it be like family members, like from society, family members, myself, whatever, like that's what I've been working on these past couple of months, like 6 months of like doing the inner work, but decretos like for the past 2 weeks of like 15 minutes every single day, like repeating the same phrase for 15 minutes. And when she mentioned that, I was like, that's fucking crazy, because even though I didn't join the past Teresena Arroyo and Teresena before that, I was doing the work that they were doing in a different way, but I was doing that work. And now I joined this Teresena, and it's just like the synchronicities that keep happening. And man, I want to do her mentorship, and even though it's $1,800, like I am ready. Like I love her, how she teaches. I love her energy. I just love how nonchalant or how chill she is, and how it's just spontaneous. It's spontaneous things, but there's so much valuable information, and I love that. I love that because that's kind of like, I kind of see myself in her a bit, where like I'm right now doing a spontaneous video where I've been talking for like 17 minutes, and it's like, what am I saying? I have no idea, but I'm just excited, and really like this specific episode is for me, for Future and Derek to kind of like remember and look back and be like, remember when you were feeling this way? Like look where we are now, and I'm just excited. So to kind of like wrap the episode up, I kind of want to talk about some of the things that she mentioned, and I have my notes right here. So I'm just gonna like mention some of the notes that I wrote, and because I think it's just so important. It's so like, it was like pedrada tras pedrada, where I'm like it was, I don't say sartenazos in Spanish. It's kind of like a whack in our head. We're like, listen up. And okay, so one of the first things she mentioned is like, how, like, really notice how you move in this world. Like when you took your last few steps before, like, you sat down, or whatever you're doing now, like, how are you moving? Like, were you moving with like confidence? Were you like slouching? Were you like stomping your feet when you walked? Were you like in tippy toe? Like how are you walking? And how are you moving in this world of yours? It's really important to observe rather than to like judge or anything like that. Again, and here's his vientre, so I'm guessing like our uterus, or this is why you need to listen to class, because I'm like, how do you call this area down here? Our vaginal canal is also really important. Our uterus is like, and energy wise, is like, again, it's really big, it's huge, because it's also like near the chakra, like the raíz, and there's another one, I think sacral. But like those chakras are really important for manifestation, and like all these energies are important. Our jaw is also really important. So if there's like tightness, she mentions how it's like really connected to the area down there, and so like try to massage this area, because that's also like usually, and she mentions is like, it's kind of like the words or things that we don't say out loud, and it kind of like just stays there. And it's also kind of like how our stomach digests the emotions and the things that, it kind of like depends if it's like salt or if it's like sugary stuff, where like your stomach hurts. But it's usually your stomach is also like a path to your stomach area. It's the ones that also digest your emotions and whatnot. So usually when you have gastritis or any like stomach issues, it's because of that, or it's related to that. We have to start breathing, like really presently breathing, and do the exercise of every hour. Take a deep breath, like a conscious breath, because sometimes we really forget that. Yeah, we have to notice, observe where we are, where's like how is our body feeling, our like energetic camp. And she kind of like, with like this whole manifestation and creating miracles, she mentions, or this metaphor of how we're like a cake, or baking a cake, because when you bake a cake, it needs the ingredients, and it needs a certain environment, specifically when it's in the oven. I feel like my eyes are like closing. When you put the cake in the oven, it needs to be in a certain temperature. You can't open the door like all the time or any time until like the cake is ready, because if you open the door before it's ready, it's not gonna like inflash, it's not gonna expand. And that's also us. Like, we need the right ingredients, we need like not the perfect time, but like we need to be in a certain environment or like with like certain timing and whatnot, and if we like don't put all the ingredients, or we're not aware of our body and all of that, then things aren't gonna materialize, things aren't gonna materialize, things are not gonna manifest because all of these factors. So that's really important. Atención en lo que quería, a lo que queremos sostener. Sorry, I'm like reading, trying to read because my eyes are literally closing. So then she makes us question, like, ¿qué es lo que tienes que soltar? What's the thing that you have to let go so you can start creating the life that you want? And again, it goes with like beliefs. It goes with beliefs about yourself, belief about the external world, belief about money, beliefs about abundance, beliefs about what's possible, what's not possible. Because that's all of that is important. It's really important to let go. And if you use the decretos, especially the yo soy un ser de llama, yo soy un ser de fuego violeta. Sorry, yo soy un ser de fuego violeta. Transmuto todos los miedos que tengo en mi conscientes o inconscientes. That's also gonna help. And if you feel like there's like when you're doing these secretos and you feel like there's like some type of tension in like in your body, and you're specifically more like in your head, then say yo soy un ser de fuego violeta, transmuto toda resistencia consciente o inconsciente. Because usually when we're doing affirmation or decretos and something starts hurting, or there's some type of like pressure, it's usually resistance because it doesn't want to go. So when you say, I don't know how you will say this in English, and I apologize, but yo soy un ser de fuego violeta, transmuto toda la resistencia consciente o inconsciente, like you start to remove those things. Because sometimes we don't know what's holding us back, and if we use that phrase to let go of anything that we don't know about yet, or maybe we won't ever know, then why not help us with that, right? And this is something right now what I'm reading. This is something I really loved when she said that. It was like because she was saying how I'll read the phrase. No quiero ser un basurero escuchando los problemas de otros. Quiero ser alguien que escuche los proyectos and the amazing things that they're doing. So in English, it's like, I don't want to be like a garbage can, like listening to people's problems, listening to the complaints and whatnot. Because usually, like people who and this is me as well. We're like there's like people who say are very like empathetic, I believe that's the word, or like it's like people trust us and they start like spilling everything, like everything that's been going on, all the problems, all the chaos, and they just like feel like they could they just start saying, right? And Azul, she was like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to listen to your problems. I don't want to like listen to any negativity. Like I want to listen to like, what are your projects? What are you doing? What amazing thing has happened today, this past week, this past month, this year? And I was like, I don't want to be like, that's literally, I felt guilty. I kind of felt guilty when I was like kind of like thinking that like I don't really want to listen to people's problems. I don't want to hear like people be like complaining, because at the end of the day, like, I understand like we're responsible for things, for our reality, for the life that we're living. And so if you're like especially specifically when you're like complaining about the same thing over and over again, it's like it's really draining. And like people don't understand that, and it sucks for us who are that like vessel of like people trusting us and like thinking that they could just like put all of their like vent to us, and you know, it doesn't have to be like that's where you put your boundaries and whatnot. But that was really beautiful, because I was like, that's so true. Like I don't want to be a garbage can. Like I want to be a place where like people could share like the amazing things. And that actually made me think of my podcast of like, I want to share my wins. I want to share my logros, and I want to share others' logros, like other people's wins, the amazing things that they're doing, and not like huge amazing things, but like things within, things like in their daily lives, where it's like yeah, this happened and that happened, I've been able to do this. And that's really where I want to focus the podcast, especially with like interviews, because it's like I'm done listening to people's problems. I'm like I feel like that's why I've isolated, and again I feel like I can't really connect, because I maybe I don't even notice, but it's like I do feel people's energy, in the sense where like I don't want to talk. Like I just want to, I prefer to be in silence and then to pretend to have a conversation of like, how's the weather, blah blah blah. So I've gotten really comfortable with that. So if you're like that, if you were able to relate to this, like just if see how your body feels, and start noticing the boundaries that you need to take in a relationship and friendships and like whatever. And it's not easy. Like sometimes I do listen to, and it's like it's okay. Like I understand, like sometimes people do need to vent. But again, it's really important to start setting those boundaries. Let that be a reminder for you, for me, for all of us. Okay, so this. Oh, we're at minute 27. Okay, I really need to go to sleep. So, okay, I'm almost done. I'm like giving you like all these things, and actually, there's this specific note is th- this specific video is in her YouTube. So if you check her episode from yesterday, so January 10th, you could, and if you use Spanish, like you could definitely go check it out. Like it's really nice. It's really nice. Okay, and then she started talking about miracles, because again, this Teresena, this 13 days, it's about miracles. It's creating miracles. It's creating the life that you want. And so she also mentioned, like she was telling the story of like the things that she's been able to do because of like where she is now. Like there was an occasion where she was at a market or a store, and this girl wanted candy, and her mom was like, you either get the candy or you get I think it was like a perfume or something like that. And as soon she was like listening, and like she told her mom like, oh, I'll buy the chocolates, yo compro los chocolates, cuántos, like, and then she told the girl like, cuántos quieres, like uno, dos, tres, and like she bought the chocolates for her. And I don't remember if it was like the same lady as well, but or a different family, but the kid had also what's it called, lost a ticket that they needed for whatever, and Asu ended up paying for it as well. And she told the mom, because when the boy told the mom that he lost it, but then Asu ended up being paying, the mom said like, oh, with the voy a tener que castigar, I'm gonna have to ground you because like you lost a ticket. And then Asu was like, oh, don't worry about it, I already paid for it. Like, all I ask you is to not like ground. It's not ground. It's like to ground. I don't know, castigar the kid, and to be open to miracles, to be open to like someone like a woman coming to you and helping you out when you need it, and just like teaching your children to be open to receiving, to be open to miracles, to be open to a different possible. I just like spit it all over. To be open to a lot of possibilities, and that was really beautiful because I could just imagine how amazing of a feeling it is to being able to help someone when they need it, being able to be someone's kind of like, what's it called, being someone's little, or no, let me rephrase that, being able to plant a seed on someone of questioning of like what does she mean, and then because of that question of like what do you mean that the miracles can't happen, what do you mean that someone can come and help me when I need it, like all like these questions, it's gonna create such a ripple effect where like she's gonna start getting answers and like guidances and synchronicities where her life could start to change. And that's really beautiful. So I could like keep on talking with the other stories I should mention, but let's keep going. So because of that, she mentions that we as well can be a fountain of miracles. So in I'm really bad in translating. And here it says, nosotros podemos ser la fuente de los milagros. We could be this vessel of like of providing or giving miracles, kind of like being the genie for others. And if we have the thing, we have the resources, like why not share? And she mentions this phrase, this thing that she mentioned, and I wrote down, is like, la riqueza es poder compartir. The richness, the wealth, I think the richness is being able to share. Like that's what it's about. It's not about the money. It's not about like hoarding everything to yourself. It's the ability of being able to share with the ones that you love, and with strangers, even like with your enemies. Like it's that, and that really, ow, sorry, that really hit home. I was like, it was una pedrada for me. It was like un sartenazo. It was like, Andrea, listen to this. And she gave an affirmation. Siempre tengo más de lo que necesito. Siempre tengo riquezas para compartir. I always have more than enough. I always have riches to share. Hopefully I translated it properly. So ask yourself that question. Who have you been a miracle to? Hopefully I translated. My translating is so bad. I'm sorry. So who have you been that miracle for? Like who do you think, what have you done that person that you did, maybe cooked a meal or made breakfast for, or bought them something, or send them a message, like all those things could be like little miracles to somebody that you might not even understand how meaningful it is to them. So really start like questioning, because also when you start creating miracles for others, you start receiving that energy back too, and it's like a horrible effect. And it's important to recognize the miracle that we ourselves are. Like all of us, every single person in this planet is a miracle. Like, and, there's that statistic of like you're one out of like whatever billion or like the possibilities. So we are all miracles, and if we need to start understanding that. And here's another affirmation. I'll say it in Spanish first, and then I'll try to translate it. Yo me abro a los milagros. Yo me abro a ser un milagro en el mundo. Yo merezco que los milagros lleguen a mi vida. Yo soy un milagro en esta vida. Los milagros viven en mí y yo vivo en ellos. Yo amo los milagros y los milagros me aman. That's so beautiful. So, to translate this, I'm open to miracles. I'm open to in being a miracle in this world. I am deserving for miracles to come into my life. I am a miracle in this life. Miracles come to me and I live in them. I love miracles and the miracles love me. So, another beautiful, beautiful affirmation. And then this is another phrase that she mentioned, and I had to write down, because I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy. Like, you're so right. So she was talking about like conformismo, conformity, like being comfort in your comfort zone, being in that conformity level of like not doing more than you should be doing. I mean, being comfortable in the life that you're living. And she mentions that we shouldn't be comfortable with what we have, is in relation of not loving the life that we want. So it's like, no se conformen con like if you want something, ask for it. Like, if you want something, ask for it. So what miracle do you want to ask for? And that's why it's important to be clear, because sometimes, and she mentioned, I've never really heard about it, but she mentioned how like she used to believe how you kind of let the universe give you what you think he wants to give you. But in reality, it's like you gotta know what you want. You gotta be clear, and you gotta ask for what you want. and that's why it's so important to have clarity, because when you don't know and you like ask, or you like say, oh, like Dios, dame lo que tú crees que necesite, or God, give me whatever you think I need. God is gonna, He's gonna give you what you, in whatever state you're resonating with. So if you don't have clarity, you're not gonna get the thing that you want. So you gotta know what you want. So she mentions like don't conform, don't be comfortable with what you have, especially if that's not what you want. And for it, in Spanish it's like no se conformen con nada que no sea exactamente lo que desean, como lo quieran, como lo sueñan. So don't get comfortable if it's not exactly what you want, what you desire, what you want, and what you dream of. So it's like all these things are really important, and I wish I could say it in a more concrete or in a more beautiful way, but these are just pinpoints, and me going over just like reading from the thing and like trying to give my 2 cents in there, but that's really, or like being able to expand a bit more. So 1, have clarity, and 2, notice again what's the beliefs that are holding you back, what's the thing. And if you don't know, like ask yourself of like, what do I want? Like if there's like something that you want, like something like, let's say tiny, like go into your body, like ¿qué más es posible? Or say yo soy un milagro, and then like start feeling that in your body, and just repeat that, yo soy un milagro, yo soy un milagro, los milagros me aman. Like kind of like using the phrases from the affirmation, and like see how your body feels. Is there a knot somewhere? Is there like some tightness that kind of came in? And then just like stay with it for a bit. And then from there, just like breathe, but breathe in direction to that, to where the pressure is. And then from there, focus on something where you do feel good, a part of your body where it does feel good, and then just feel it. And then repeat the thing again, repeat the phrase that you've been repeating. It's like, yo soy un milagro, yo soy un milagro, yo soy magia. And repeat that, and it's so beautiful. And just feel it, and like start feeling different, and it's like, and then start questioning in that state of like peace, in a more like type of state. Ask yourself, like, what do I want? ¿Qué es lo que deseo? What's the thing that I desire? What type of life do I want to live? And like, man, things are gonna start coming in your way, like synchronicities, man. And she mentions in the more the crazier, the more the unimaginable, the more it's possible. The more it is possible. And then she mentions how we have to stop being in standby. We have to stop being of like, oh God, whatever you want, like I'll leave it up to you. Like whatever you want, like I'll live my day to day, and whatever you want to get me, little or a lot, like it doesn't matter. Whatever, like no, we have to stop being in standby. We have to start asking for what we want, because God, like that's what universe, that's what this whole spiritual realm wants. And I think it's important to note as well that it's like, yes, it is whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it does have to be aligned with, it has to be congruent, pretty much. It has, like, you have to do, and you have to be, do, have. So it could be congruent, because if you're like asking for, like, oh, I want a Ferrari, but maybe like all of that is not aligned, or it's like there's really no purpose of you having a Ferrari. It's just like you just want it because you want it. Like that's not how it works either. So that's what, again, it's important to have clarity, because like for me, I could say I want my Honda Element, but what's the purpose behind it? And really the only thing I can say is that it's being open to miracles, and the Honda Element being a representation of what can happen, and 2, it's part of the journey of the road trip of like being able to, the road trip really is the miracle when it happens, and the Honda Element is gonna be the means of me doing the thing. And this whole road trip, it's all about connecting with others and hearing people's amazing stories and their journeys, and all the amazing things that they've been able to experience in their life, because they chose a different path, a path of like remembering who they are and doing what they love. So the Honda element is not just to have the Honda element. It's part of a bigger thing that I am planning, of a bigger project. So again, you need to have clarity on what you want. Oh my god, it's 42 minutes and I need to go to sleep. Okay. The last 2 points. So when you manifest, there's these formula, I guess, and this is how she says it. Yo deseo, yo lo siento, yo lo veo, yo lo creo, yo lo suelto. Sorry, I'm so tired that I feel like I just like repeated a couple of the same things. Let me say that again. Yo deseo, yo lo siento, yo lo veo, yo lo creo, yo lo suelto, yo permito que suceda. So pretty much, I desire, I feel it, I see it, I create it, I let it go, and I let it happen. Or I give permission for it to happen. Something like that. So that's kind of like the formula of manifestation, and you can hear it in a lot of videos. Like, you gotta feel it, you gotta be it, like act as if it's already is, like be the person that manifestation requires, and create it. And then the last thing, we have to let go of the need of wanting the things to happen, of controlling the situation, of like I need to do this and like blah blah blah, and this hustle culture, like all that. Is it esfuerzo that sorry, I don't know how to pronounce esfuerzo. Because she also like, just to like wrap it up, like she also mentions how necesidad, like the necessity, asking from a place of necessity of instead of desire, is completely different. Necessity is like I need it, like oh my god, like you're in this like not so good state, compared to like desire is like I'm open to the possibilities, I know what I want, and like I'm just asking in a different, peaceful, in a loving place, from a loving place. So that's really the experience I had today. The amazing experience, like the crying, the kind of like a shift, maybe like a quantum leap, I don't know. Man, oh man, I when I was driving to work, I saw a license plate with like 777, and I have like this like little guideline of like what it means, and I was like looking for it, and I was like, and it mentioned how like congratulations, like this means that you've been doing the work, and whatever fears you have, like tell them to the universe, and like they'll guide you. And literally when I saw that 777, I saw a Honda Element, and I was like, is this a sign? Is this not a sign? And the reason I was kind of like, I was like, oh my god, is this a sign? Was because when I got into the car, I was like, maybe I should check where, like, because I don't know if you guys listened to a previous episode, but I mentioned how there was a Honda Element in a place that I went to babysit prior, and it had a flat tire. It looks like it's been there for months, and so I've been wanting to kind of like leave my card in there, and like a little card with like my information, and say like, oh, like if you're interested in buying, like let me know. So I kind of had like this kind of like impulse of doing that. So that's what I did today. I was like, if this Teresena is about miracles, man, I am gonna make sure that I do what I can for those miracles to start happening. So I went and left the card in the car, and I saw it, and I was like, you could be mine, could not be mine, I don't know, but I did what I can control, and then I'll leave it to the universe. Maybe like we don't know the possibilities, and that's fucking awesome. That's so fucking awesome, because I'm like, oh my god, what if they don't answer? What if they don't call me? Like I'm not in that state. I'm like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's okay. Like it's gonna happen at some point. It's gonna I'm gonna have my Honda Element. I have my Honda Element, I'm just waiting for that time to kind of like connect. But with that being said, I am so tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I on today it was just such a beautiful day. There was like a moment also where my head was kind of hurting, and I was like, but just like remembering and like remembering the class, like remembering that this year is gonna be awesome. I'm just like so freaking excited, and I hope you are too. Like if you didn't listen to the whole thing, I get it. It's understandable. But like Andrea, if you're like looking back, and from 1 year from now, it's like January 11th, and you're looking back, and it's just like, let me see what this girl was doing during this time. I know that there's changes coming, and I know things have changed for the better, and it's maybe ways that we didn't imagine, and I'm super excited. Hopefully you do like an updated video, and honestly that's also kind of scary because one of my biggest fears is that it's being stagnant. It's like being excited about like, oh my god, things are changing, and then like 1 year from now it's kind of like, oh no, actually we're still working in a job that we don't like, and we're still not making money, and we're still in debt. That's really one of my biggest fears, if not the biggest fear, because I've been living that fear for the past like 3 years. And so, but I know this year is gonna be different. Like I know it. Like I feel the guidance, I see the guidance, and I'm just so freaking grateful that, man, oh man, like I it's crazy to say that Andrea from 2025 has a relationship with God, with the universe, when like Andrea from like a year ago, 2 years ago, like the connection was not really there. But this year is different. And even like Andrea from like 2016, when she stopped going to church and like started questioning, like, oh, maybe I'm agnostic and whatnot. But it's different this year, and I'm really excited. But yeah. There's like one more thing I wanted to mention, and I kind of forgot. Let's see if I remember. Because it's like tip of my head, tip of my tongue. She mentioned how when you decide to be in that comfort zone, in conformismo, and conforming to the life that you have, especially when you don't love that life, when you don't do anything about it, when you don't do that change, it's you're telling yourself that you're not willing to do the work for you, like for yourself, and that usually speaks like self-love. You don't believe in yourself, you don't trust yourself. She says it way better, and like I'm like my eyes are closing like little by little, but that's really it. Really think about that. Like staying in your comfort zone, you choosing to stay in the life that you're living right now, knowing that you don't want to be living this life, you're telling yourself that you're not worth it. You're telling yourself that that you're not enough. Like if you're a creyente of God, if you're creating like a believer of the universe and whatnot, you're saying that the universe, that God put you here for no reason, and that's not true. So really think about that. Like maybe I could have said it better. I'm like half asleep, but like really think about that, because that's really important. But I'll end it there, because I am minute 50. I don't even know how it's I be expanding things more than they should be. But if you want to listen to the episode, you can listen to the episode. Si no, está bien, it's okay. I might do this episode again in Spanish, because there's so much information in Spanish where I feel like I could say it way better. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, comment in Spotify, follow in Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because that supports the podcast, and we're trying to get to 500 subscribers in just a couple months. So let's do this. We got this. Let's create a miracle. But with that being said, thank you so much again. I'm so freaking grateful. Thank you for 118 subscribers. I'm super excited, and for those to come, With that being said, have an amazing, beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.